as a target individual right now, uh, it's just almost scary to see and to understand, to see how spectrum like my thoughts are becoming. It's just it's just so bad. And obviously my brain is just for them to manipulate. And you become more and more illogical. They have these mental battles. And those mental battles, and then try to use these moments of mental battles to make you subscribe to this. Like, you see, um, we just mapped you, meaning that we know you, and like it's just nonsensicalness, right? It's just illogicalness, and they try to gaslight you into accepting this manipulation. They make you think in this illogical way of thinking, and then use that. You see how you felt like that. You see how we figured you out like that. So we're matching this disturbing pedophilia with torment, and it's just a way we're putting things together that is logical and is matching you, but in a way that we put this together in. It's just is a level of damn near retardation. And I'm sorry to keep using that word because I know there's mental retardation, and it can be used in an insultive way, but it's truly that's where you. This is where I can. That's the best word I can explain the way they try to make you accept these things. I'm gonna say this and understand to people listening. This is just comical, but to what's happening to my brain, this kind of back and forth is just truly a mental battle. And then you have what adds it to everything. Sometimes is just listening to who's trying to make you subscribe to it, which is interesting on its own. I'm watching this interview, and it's an interview, and this African individual who's a boxer talking to a journalist, and he talks about him being on a trip somewhere in Europe and going into that trip, and he's at this bar. He goes to this bar where he was the only black person there, and everybody was just stopped and looked at him. Right now, I am black, and from African descent too, and so this person uh end up being friends with the bartender. The bartender, they tried to get like a hotel that he couldn't find any hotel, and he was welcome to stay the night. They talked the night with his wife and everything at the home, and they're like, "Hey, you know what? You're a nice person. After like he stayed one night, and they were like, "Oh, you're a nice guy. You don't start any trouble. You're quiet. You stay on your own or something like that, and you definitely welcome to stay longer if you want to." And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry. Yes, yes, I'm a nice guy. I'm quiet. I keep myself. I'm African. I'm not American, right?" So he's like, she's basically saying, "I'm not African American. I'm just African." And then they go in my head, it's like, "Oh, you see, right? Mind you, this is what this person says." And then somehow they try to go into my brain and try to, because one thing you're gonna find out here as a target individual, they're gonna try to vilify you in every possible. You know how many illogical, racist against black people, right? It's not even like against people of my own race, trying to get you to feel guilty in certain ways. Now, of course, we all have stereotypes, right? Try to make you feel guilty. It's like, oh, because you are, from the African descent, as in from the continent, you think you're better than people who are like, they try to have this back and forth. I'm like, I know who I am. Listen, these things you try to put together, and they do that all the time. They try to have you have this like degrading of others and ways of looking in the negative ways, and try to use things to try to make you subscribe to these things. Literally try to make you believe this BS, and they just try to make you subscribe to this. And then they're like, it goes further, and it's like, you see the way we're able to piece things together, because and then they try to bring up, oh, but remember what your cousin said. Remember what your sister said. Remember this. You left at that. You see? Oh, oh, this, and I'm like, wow. And it's like, you see that that's why they try to, and then it goes further and say, so you see, this pedophilia things that we do to you is us matching. You see, it's you, because we matched this illogicalness in the first place to you. Now this pedophilia things is to you, black girls. And then and then I open this app, right? This dating app, and there's this woman who ended up showing like a picture of her when she's a child, a black woman, and they start doing these pedophilia things. It's like, you see, that's just us matching you. Then they try to make me think, oh, we matched you as a child, and to them it's like, okay, it makes sense. Listen to what I just said. Now we all know that I know that they do the pedophilia type of torture. Um, Even the fact that they try to make me think that this is me as a child, it just shows how illogical it is. But understand how they're trying to make you be credible. But these initial things they talk about, like, first of all, with from the African continent versus African American, like, it's just, and they do that all the time. No, you do this pedophilia type of torture. This black little girl, and it truly will make me think of me as a child, or try to create these things where they try to make me feel like this is something I felt like as a child. It's just illogical. I'm a 30-some-year-old man in the first place, and you try to make me feel like this is illogical. On top of that, I know you guys do the pedophilia type of tormenting. You literally do the pedophilia type of torture. I'm hearing people in the hallways trying to make me accept these things. You've seen these like short videos I show. These are the kind of people who try to make you accept these thoughts, make you think that this is logical. This is just ridiculously, you know, when you hear things like that, right? Let me show you. Let me hear. Let me bring these things that.
Sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams.
And then you're saying that we just matched it to you as a child, right? You hear this noise campaign. This is because they try to box in this BS. Do you understand how systematically and obvious brainwashing this is? I have to deal with these people and try to make you accept this illogicalness. To all my target individual, you have to be strong. You have to be strong, because this technology has the ability to override your consciousness, your logics, your thoughts in every ways. It's gonna be tough for me, but I will never let them live. Like, that's why I make videos as much as I can. Like I keep saying, there'll be a day I won't be able to make those. So I gotta make sure that when the day comes, I'm sure that I'll be like, okay, I've made those videos. I've said what I need to say. Let's just say if my brain is too ravished to even think like that, at least somewhere out there, I said the things and how they were trying to make me accept these things. And look at these people. Does it not look? Does it not sound? Does it not like just pure, just trying to rewire you, brainwash you, manipulate you, or in all fashions? Is this illogicalness of spectruism that they try to get you to accept? And they use these moments like that. Did you see how in my brain, and I gotta be honest, my brain is just taking a while. It's going like, it's just connecting this nonsensicalness together, truly boxing in these ways of being illogical. And you have your whole ecosystem. You heard the noise campaign. You've seen some of my co-workers. You've seen the people I interact with. They're not even my co-workers, but people who are quote unquote supposed to be the clientele. Try to get you to accept this nonsense. That's why I showed them, like, in these ways. they try to say whatever they need to say. They don't need to say to not seeing these things the right way. It's gonna be tough. I understand, but these people have to leave day in and day out to try to make you this level to be on this level of spectruism. And I'm not letting them live that fantasy. The day this I'm completely ravaged is because I'm so ravaged I can't even speak. But before that, let me make videos about what illogicalness and how they try to make me subscribe to these things. It's insane. It's illogical. They're making me think now as a child, and then making me think of a black little girl and give me the stimulation I'm experiencing now. And you see the kind of people that do these things. I just as I'm speaking, somebody opens the door, slams the door. And by the way, as they were doing these things with African American and African, some black person started making noise campaign. At least that's what you know. I'm like, are you? Do you think I'm gonna go with these things? Try to make me feel uncomfortable, but this is like you are delusional. And what they're doing is like really are trying. They're really like rewire my brain in this way, in this stupidity. I'm like, I wish. Go ahead, tell me you're black in front of me, and why am I? They're delusional, and they try to find ways to just vilify you, and then go back into, oh, you see how we match? No, you're just really dumbing me down, manipulating my thoughts and my logic into this disturbingness, and then try to make me subscribe to your anatomy, like as if I don't know you do the pedophilia type of torture, as if I don't know you manipulate people to look at kids in this way and be stimulated or children in these disturbing ways. Sorry, be stimulated or children sexually. This is disgusting. As if I don't know you manipulate you like you've done that to almost all target individuals. I'm here. You know what they do to culture black girls? Because then I should be subscribing to this. And this person says it was like, girl, is it no match? They are delusional. This black girl thing, and they make me think of a black girl, and make me think of me as a child, or make me think of me in a different like it's just and just go on via the video kid talking to themselves or talking to me in a way that's just condescending. These people are delusional, and they're like, oh, they're abused. Try to make me think of, oh, but remember what you did as a kid. Oh my gosh. First of all, you do the perfect for torture, and second of all, of course, I know you torture children. So you can't even make me think, like there's no way. Like reality is too strong to even my brain that is completely ravaged with with retardation. That even when they try to do these things where they first of all make me feel the stimulation, they make me feel the stimulation when I was a child. They try to make me think, oh, remember what you did as a child. Like first of all, I know what you guys do to children. There's not even this not there. Then I know you manipulate me to think this way when I'm a child. I know I didn't have that. But I'm an adult, man. That now, when I look at black little girls or any children of any sort, I get this disturbing stimulation that you force me to have. And this trash girl, what? You think I subscribe to these things? Even me saying black girl for another stimulate me. They want to sell this persona, this reality that they put together that I'm not letting them go through. I'm not letting them leave that fantasy. My brain might be going there, but I'm not. My brain is yours. You understand? It went from doing these things with African versus African American, then they try to make me subscribe again to these pedophilia things they do to me, and then try to go, oh, black girl, like no, black girls. Oh, by the way, let me just be, you know, they do the not only do that to all black girls, but any children of any sort, even babies of any like any child. They do these pedophilia things in every ways. Like meaning that they force you to think in these ways, they stimulate you, they make you dream in these ways. They like it's just disgusting. They make you think in these spectrum like ways, and they want you to subscribe to it. And they box in these ways of thinking and try to make you subscribe to it. You know what they're doing right now? They have They're doing things to my private areas. To get to boxing is nonsensical, disgusting things. This is the kind of people that work, and I showed, and that's the kind of people that do these kind of things. And they're like, oh, using the condescending, oh, you'll die, then you get raped, and they try to disorient me. My brain is for them to manipulate. To never ever go with what this brain of theirs is trying to make you subscribe to. It's getting hard for me to speak, but never subscribe. I speak knowing that maybe one day I won't be able to speak, but I know who's talking to me, how delusional they are. This weak, low life, coward trash that talk about they're gonna watch me die and then they'll die. That's what they like to say. I'm like, okay, great. And while you were alive, you tried to make me be this on the spectrum, and I didn't subscribe. While the unfair part, on top of that, which they knew I was, of course, I'm gonna bring that up. The unfair part is like they actually work for pedophiles. Reality is too much. You cannot escape it. You made me think all this way and all this, and then you imagine whatever, and all the BS. And then, of course, the reality is these people actually have issues with pedophilia in these agencies. And of course, they know I was going to say that because this is something I will always bring up. And they're like, oh, that's not fair. Yes, it's super fair. Can you imagine make somebody think in this illogical way? To find out that at the end of the day, the actuality of things, the reality is you guys are actually the pedophiles. Not only because you torture children, not only because you do the pedophilia type of torture, it's because there's a bunch of pedophiles in these agencies. Do you see how it's fair for somebody who's being brainwashed and manipulated to think in these illogical, nasty ways? When I mean nasty, I mean pedophilia ways, not anything else. But you guys manipulate me to think in these disturbing pedophilia ways. Of course, these things are fair because regardless of how manipulated and retarded almost, sorry again for this language, but this spectruism of ways of thinking, I'm thankful for reality to come and be like, okay, well, here, let me show you what's not fair for you. You guys are actually the pedos. Oh, you're matching? Look, match that. They're delusional. And you hear this childlike people, like which you see in the story, right? The short story, those short videos. There's like, no, you're all pedo. This kind of people. Do you understand how things looks like and how they actually appear in reality? They don't want to be seen because this is what it looks like. And they are telling me, no, you are a pedo. This is the kind of person I'm talking about. So I'm not talking to you. You just heard how they're trying to make you accept these things. You heard it. In my brain, there's still a battle. There's still a battle. But to hear the people who's talking, and if there's a picture of that person, and you see the people who try to be, no, they are. We're just matching. Those people who know that they do the pedophilia type of torture. Try to now make me think, no, remember what you did as a child. That's you. So as a child, that's what you did as a child, and this is how you felt. It's like, first of all, obviously, you talk about me as a child. Two, of course, I know you're manipulating me to feel these things, where you had these memories in these stimulations. But I'm talking to people who do the pedophilia type of torture, who are saying it's your pedos. These people are delusional. So to all my target individual, I want you to listen to what's happening to me and understand there's people around me of all level of intellect who are trying to make me subscribe to this free reality, to this falsified reality. Even noise campaign from black bikers try to get like intimidation used to make me be on the spectrum. They're telling me I'm going to starve, I'm being tortured. They make me even feel nervous about the torture. To all my target individual, you should never subscribe to it. As I say that, somebody say, "Approve." That's a way to just like dismiss, like, oh my god, look at this guy. This is the type of comical people that they use around me to make me subscribe to this, and then disorient me, tell me, oh, then you're gonna die, so I can stop saying how this gimmicky people are trying to make me subscribe to this. So to all my target individuals, stay strong. Win or lose, understand your brain is never gonna be the way you want it. These people, day in and day out, are trying to get you to accept in this brain, in this retardation. You see that picture? This is the picture of the person they were trying to. It's a kid. Stimulation is like, no, that was you. We matched. And then try to have my brain to be battling to try to think in a normal way. No, I'm being on the spectrum. You don't match. You manipulate people to have pedophilia type of tormenting, and you use this illogicalness to try to make yourself validating or credible, which is also on its own another level of manipulation and kind of retardation. But it's not. It's just. It's like. It's not. It's not. It's not. It doesn't phase me as the same way. But it's also something you try to manipulate. And as I say that, they try to make me feel anxious, stimulated, and all kind of feelings. So to all my target individuals, do not subscribe to this. They tell me how I'm gonna be fired and everything else, knowing that the people who hire me to fire me. Stay strong, target individuals, because these people are gonna do their best to get you to sell this reality they've put together.